A historic defense pact that could reshape geopolitics around West Asia is nearing completion. We're talking about Saudi Arabia and the United States, which are said to be close to reaching a landmark defense pact and nuclear and artificial intelligence cooperation. Now, US says the deal with Saudi Arabia would not be possible without Israel. It's dubbed as Plan B. The new pact will be separate from the trilateral agreement involving Saudi's normalization with Israel. Reports suggest Plan B could expand once Israel ends its war in Gaza and commits to an irreversible path to achieve Palestinian statehood in the West Bank, East Jerusalem and Gaza. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken reportedly discussed Plan B last weekend during the World Economic Forum in Riyadh. Now, reports say the nuclear part of the US-Saudi deal could allow Riyadh a conversion plant for turning refined uranium powder into gas. But Saudi Arabia would not initially be allowed to enrich uranium gas on its own territory. A separate US-Saudi text would establish a defense pact between the two countries. The third part of the deal would involve a loosening of US export controls to Saudi Arabia of computer chips used in AI development tools. Now, for Riyadh, a Palestinian state has long been the key to Saudi relations with Israel. As head of Israel's government, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has flatly rejected a Palestinian state. Washington, however, appears determined to reassert its influence after disengaging from the troubled region in recent years. As leaders of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, Saudi Arabia and Russia are close allies. Despite Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, Saudi Arabia has continued to import Russian refined petroleum products and has intensified investment in Russian energy firms. For more on this, we were earlier joined by Dr. Avner Cohen from California. He's a professor of non-proliferation and terrorism studies at the Middlebury Institute. Here's what he had to say.
It will be a major stage in the acceptance of Israel by the Arab world. Saudi Arabia represents perhaps the most prominent state, the rising giant in the Arab world, definitely the largest in terms of territory, in terms of land, and acceptance, and of course the home of all the holy sites of the Islam. So acceptance by Saudi Arabia and creating normalization, if not formal peace, is very, very important, and it's Israeli interest as well as Saudi interest. As you know, the Saudis insist that will be conditioned by Israeli agreement to the creation over time of a Palestinian state, and I believe that should be an interest of Israel as well. You're right. Currently, Prime Minister Netanyahu refused to do that. Whether a language can be found that will talk about some kind of autonomy in Gaza that would allow in a future point to vote in favor of union with the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank. All kind of possibilities are being looked at. But in principle, I think it's very much an Israeli interest, and Israel should pursue that.